How are y'all doing? Long day, hey? Okay, so very excited to have this conversation about what's happening in the regions surrounding Georgia and the Caucasus within the Web3 community and ecosystems. So to get us kicked off, let's chat about what makes each of you individually excited about Web3 and what you're working on toward that end. Maybe a little bit about you and the main project that you're working on.
Hey everyone. Wow, like high energy room. I love being like the last or one of the last panels of the day. It's like everyone's just like, come on, dude. So Andrew Thornhill. I'm an American, been living in Georgia really since 2007. I am a payments guy, but I'm a blockchain developer and deep into that space. I started Paystars also, but I'm also the ambassador to the Cardano Foundation here. We have two really, really big projects, both enterprise level with the government of Georgia. And I very strongly believe that we should be excited about Web3 if we can find true utility to achieve specific objectives that make people's lives better. And so my project is Worth the Wine Agency, and we are protecting appellations of wine throughout Georgia, utilizing Cardano blockchain as the tech anchor for the third-party track and trace. We did a pilot project in Imereti a few years ago with Baya's wine, and this year we're protecting all of the wine coming out of Bolnisi, which is a really interesting area in the south part of Georgia. About 120,000 bottles. Next year, we're going to be doing Racha and Bolnisi. So we are aiming for more transparency to the consumers. We're aiming for a higher price point of the wines on the market, and we're aiming to increase security of those wines. So I think that Web3's got a great opportunity in Georgia and in the region. So thanks, Chelsea. And thanks to Mika for this conference and for inviting us here. This is great.
Thank you. So my name is Artyom. I am from Web3 Foundation of Armenia. We are doing, most of the time, we are doing lobbying the government towards proper Web3. We are doing education in universities. And we are helping startups to get where they should be. Why Web3? Because probably all of you are here because you like rioting and you hate digital slavery. I guess I am here for the same reason.
So, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting us. This is the second year, and I think I was just discussing with some colleagues here. Maybe the quantity is not so big, but the quality is definitely higher than last year, and I congratulate with all my heart DegameFi, and I'm pretty sure that the next year will be even better. So I'm from Gedari Foundation. I'm a Chief Development Officer of this venture capital organization, which was built and founded in Israel. But frankly speaking, I don't even know if we have any offices left in Israel because the whole company relocated to Georgia last year. And we're operating from here, and I'm very much hoping that we will stay here and our stakeholders decide to stay here. What we are doing is that we are investing very much in creative industries. This is our specialty, so to say, and we are in Georgia just because we believe in Georgia as a crossroad for creativity, for culture, but all the newest developments in technology also, because this is a great place where people from different nations are coming and working here, not only as digital nomads. So our major goal is to create a physical creative city here in Georgia, where people from creative industry, starting from cinema and ending with crafts and gastronomy, can live and work together in one place. And we also very much involved in negotiations with the government to create a nice taxation for them. Also, most of the time we're talking about zero taxation, but it's not really zero. And I think we are very, very successful right now. We know exactly where we will build this city. It's going to be Kutaisi for sure, because Kutaisi is a great place for it. There is a great university, couple of universities, by the way. But as the city is dying right now, and the young people are leaving the place, and we want to develop this place very much. We developed a Qatari Academy here, and we are very much involved in trying to be involved also in education, waiting for the accreditation here. We are involved basically in all important cultural and tech events in Georgia. So, and we are very much into blockchain because we think that intellectual property is the asset of for creative industries, and the way it was managed, monetized before blockchain, I think was in some ways ridiculous, and blockchain gives the opportunity to decentralize, to monitor better, to monetize, and that's why we believe in blockchain, and basically the whole city will be based on blockchain technology, and I think that this is not the future even. We are here, it's a Web3 conference, and this is the reality. So the merging will be different story, but that's the future. Okay, that's basically it.
Sorry, what is the name of the city project?
We call it Qatari City, and we've been announced here in different ways by the state representatives. Sometimes they call us Silicon Valley, but we are not, obviously. We still call it Qatari City, but the branding is a story. Like we will see how it will develop. It's a 10-year project, so we are very excited, and I hope that we will have a lot of friends here and colleagues and partners also through the years of development.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to see this conference going on. It's the second year, and as was said, the quality is increasing, and I'm really proud to see a lot of people gathering here and talking about everything about blockchain, Web3, cryptocurrencies. My name is Khvicha Kopinadze. I'm the CEO at Cryptal. So probably you heard about Cryptal. This is one of the largest crypto exchange here in Georgia. To be short, to answer shortly to the question about the connection to the Web3, in Cryptal we help people. We act as a gateway to the Web3. So it is a place where people buy cryptocurrencies and then they move that crypto to the Web3. And as you know, the cryptocurrencies are a building block for Web3 mostly. And I'm really excited about blockchain, Web3 in general. And we have a lot of good projects that are coming in our portfolio. Of course, Cryptal is not the only product that we are offering to Georgian market. You've probably seen our ATMs around the city, and we are covering around more than 500 ATMs now we have in the city. You probably seen somewhere near here as well, so a couple of them even. I'm really excited to develop the local market and to support the local market in this direction, because I think that in the future it's going to be a big part of our economy and big part of the economy of the world in general. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
So purely for selfish reasons, Khvicha, I would love to know when you see more momentum coming back to BTC and Ethereum this year, maybe?
It's It's difficult to say when, but my expectations are by the end of 24, early 25. I'm like targeting the time, and probably buying a lot of bitcoins myself to prepare for that momentum. And yeah, it's exciting to see when it comes, but the whole community is expecting that this is gonna happen by that time. And the good thing is that whenever we see the momentum in Bitcoin, the whole Web3 community tries to grow up, and each time there is a spike in the Bitcoin. In a spike in the Bitcoin, then there is a growth in the Web3 community, and every time this happens, the Web3 gets larger and
Yeah, we all get excited again, right?
yeah. So basically, that's my expectations. So
Okay, wunderbar. Arty, on a more serious note, what do you see as the main differences between Georgia and Armenia in the Web3 and blockchain ecosystem?
So ecosystems really usually are not about technology. Each and every country and community can in fact create the technology. It's more about how government and regulations are helping or fighting against it. So for example, if you take Georgia right now, of course, some of you that have done business in Georgia, crypto related, know that everything isn't that smooth. So you might have some problems with licensing, you might have some problems with sending, receiving crypto, and so on and so forth. And doesn't matter what kind of technology you provide, how good your solutions are, at the end of the day, you're gonna work with banks and governments. And from that perspective, also, although situation in Georgia isn't perfect, but it's a bit better than in Armenia. Rules in Armenia are a bit more strict. So there are no laws and regulations which doesn't allow you to do crypto, but still banks and regulators don't really like or encourage it. So from that side, Georgia is a bit ahead of Armenia, but we are surely working on it, right?
Is that why you have part of your team here?
Yes, so we are 8 people from Web3 Foundation of Armenia came here to interchange with ideas and see how can we lobby it better to government to achieve the same. Like Binance presence in Georgia is maybe doesn't sound to some of you like a big victory, but it surely is. So Binance, Tether, all of that add up to better infrastructures and better everything for a company that wants to enter the country. So Georgia is ahead. We are coming slowly and steadily.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Okay, so along the lines of trends, I've been in Georgia for almost 4 years now, and I've seen the absolute explosion of OTC counters and ATMs and in every cafe and corner. Why do you guys think this is? Andrew, maybe you can start.
Oh gosh, probably Khvicha has a better answer to that, but certainly we have to be cognizant of things happening in the region. So I think the war, and we have massive movement of capital coming from different countries that are impacted by that. And Georgia, has released their VASP licensing. I don't know if that's been talked about here. But I think in June or July, the National Bank released rule sets on how cryptocurrency should be handled. But until those are enforced fully, street exchanges are fully legal and not taxed. And there's quite a bit of liquidity, here in Georgia on both sides of the equation. And a lot of money can be made, I think, by utilizing that. But yeah, there certainly were more a year ago. There's less now. Even I live in Vaque, and I saw that the 2 or 3 closest to me have already closed down. I do think, though, that Khvicha might have a better insight on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's very true to say that we have a lot of OTC desks in Georgia, and probably from 1st of October, most of them probably closed down, and because of this new regulation. So, as Andrew already said, so main reason for that was a lot of relocations from neighboring countries. From Russia, Belarus, and from Ukraine. A lot of people came in Georgia. And it seems that cryptocurrencies are very popular in that countries. And because of that, there was a lot of demand for the crypto. And whenever there's a demand, there's always an intention from businesses to jump in and meet those demands. And yeah, we have ourselves also seen a lot of spike in activities on our exchange. Yeah, that's the main reason, and probably because of these new regulations, we are now seeing a lot of them closing down. I want to add a couple of insights. This it was said that the Binance, presence of the Binance or other companies is has played a role into the regulation. I think that it has not at all played a role in the current regulations, because the problem is that regulators, because the exchanges are, mostly present in Georgia and in our region, most of the regulations are directed to the exchanges. So these regulators try to, regulate us in every way, and mostly it is catered around exchanges. And apart from exchanges, there are a lot of stuff going into the Web3 and blockchain and cryptocurrencies that are out of current regulation side. So it doesn't cover at all that type of projects or businesses, and that's a pity. And I think that because the Binance was, it was trying to lobby somehow about regulations, in the end it was an exchange, and in the end all the regulations, regulators try to regulate this strictly, this space. So that's why Binance presence didn't help us, although we were expecting that it could have some positive effect. Yeah, I think that we have to work with the regulators for them to understand that there are more than exchanges in this space, and help them understand that the regulation shouldn't be, only catered for, shouldn't only cover these exchanges, and this will, of course, then grab an attention of a lot of Web3 community guys and people like Polygon, Tether, and so on, that are building really good stuff out there, and it will then, help our economy move on and help the community grow. So yeah, that's.
Can I add one quick thing? So if you look at actual potential, regional potential of utility of Web3, when the war started and thousands of people were dislocated, you saw a massive increase of trading on the streets in Georgia. Why? Because it worked, right? If you separate the evil aspects of the war, and you focus specifically on the utility of what happened, what you see is that Georgia became an oasis of cryptocurrency payment use, right? And so the reason why half a dozen or more crypto exchanges popped up on every corner was because people were using it to move money, people were using it to send money, and it actually worked as a utility. It was better and faster than opening up bank accounts. It was better and faster than sending a SWIFT payment. And so Georgia, in a way, kind of highlighted, later the VASP licensing came in, but in the beginning, the utility of Web3 payments was fully actualized in Georgia. And that's something that we should really take notice of and look at. Because if you believe that the world is changing and the world is possibly a bit more dynamic, or if you believe in weather pattern changes, that there's massive changes in climate. If you think that 1 million people are going to move if there's a typhoon in Sri Lanka, or if there is like massive earthquake, in some region, and all of a sudden 100,000 people have to leave a region, leave their home, how are they going to transport their wealth? How are they going to live? How are they going to, if they're not refugees, how are they going to live? And Web3 literally offers a solution for the financial aspect of that. And it's one of the big reasons why I'm a very big believer, not only in Georgia, but in Web3. So sorry to interrupt, but that's...
That's perfect. I think it's the combination of all the things you said, and then just accessibility, right? The ability to actually move money across borders in a time like that. Okay, so what do you gentlemen each think about how the average Georgian thinks about Web3 and cryptocurrency?
I think they don't think about that at all. So I just want to, unfortunately. So I must admit that through these 2-3 years that we've been involved in communication with the government, organizations, creatives, of course, people start to understand blockchain, Web3 generally. And I must also admit that there are people, very skilled people also in the some levels of the government who understand what is this technology, what is the next step. And I was told, I was always very proud that we have this real estate thingy, in public registry based on blockchain here in Georgia. And I was telling, you've heard probably about that. And I was always telling to my Estonian friends, come on, we are the first. We used it, the state used it, but it turned out that there was just some group of people, motivated young technical guys who just started it without, even explaining the details to representatives of government and stuff. So they thought that it's just another, technical thing that they are developing. But we are using it nearly on daily basis here in Georgia. And every time I talk to somebody from, Ministry of Economy, I'm always reminding them that, come on, guys, that worked. As for the citizens of Georgia, of course, they start to understand that, like, through this whole motions coming last year, and the thing is that, like, I understand that our mission here as Getari Foundation is that, we don't want to wait for another war, that people are coming here. Unfortunately, today also, you know that it's starting now in Israel also, and we don't need to wait for this kind of big migrations, global migrations. We have a huge problem. Climate is our problem, and I agree with Andrew. People start to migrate because of that. We have to be ready for that, and we hope that creative people will come to Georgia. And these people, they use crypto. Most of them are using it, and that's why I think we will be partners with all exchanges here once we start to, getting people relocated. That would be one of the possibilities for them to use it on daily basis also.
So I think that asking Georgian about the Web3 is not a good idea, but rather I will start with very expensive sneakers. Do you know about very expensive sneakers? And everyone, digital sneakers, and everyone will tell you that they know about it. So I'm talking about Stepan, that was very popular in Georgia, and we saw a lot of people running in the streets to earn cryptos. And if you start with this question, then probably like 5 out of 10 will tell you that they know about it or they have heard about it. But I think that Web3 community and Web3 users are percentage-wise to the population is very small. But you know, in terms of the adoption and penetration, if you look at some statistics, I don't know if it's correct or not, but whenever I looked at the statistics, it was like 5.2% penetration of cryptocurrencies in the population. So it translates into roughly 130,000 people that have at least had one transaction in cryptocurrency. So that's a good starting point. It's in line with the rest of the world, probably behind Turkey, behind Brazil, but you know, we know the reasons why it is more popular in Turkey and Brazil. I think that it should be our aim and the goal for all the companies that are present here to, you know, try and develop and educate educate people here in Georgia, and not only in Georgia and in our region, to, you know, understand the benefits of the Web3, understand the benefits of cryptocurrencies, and the example that Andrew gave. So it is one of the best ways, you know, to transfer the wealth between countries, and you know, you do it within a couple of minutes and seconds, and sometimes, and that's you know, that's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Wait, what's the name of the sneakers?
It was a project called Steppen. Steppen.
I'm gonna have to check those out. Proof of walking, love it. So Andrew, you've been all over the world, done business in all different places, including the United States and Georgia. What do you see as the main differences / competitive advantage that Georgia might have?
No, wait, no, I'm good. Nope, I'm back. Here I am. I can rap. That's an excellent question. So I am very happy living in Georgia. I have the capacity and the ability in Georgia to translate more freely my passion for tokenization and for development, because the Georgian government is very eager to hear what I have to say. And I'm not even kidding. And I've been here a long time, right? So 2007 was when I first came, and so I'm not, fresh off the boat, let's say, in Georgia. And I think I've demonstrated value and value add, to Georgian people and to the government. And so it's not uncommon for me to walk from the Ministry of Economy over to the National Bank. You actually have to go down and around. It's kind of funny. And then head over to the Ministry of Education, or health, or somewhere or go up the hill to Gita and meet with Avto and his team. I mean, these are all things that are within reach, right? I mean, these are all phone call away. And while the Georgian government may not have a lot of money to dedicate to development programs, they're eager to listen and learn. And if you come to them with an idea, and especially if you come to them with some funding, they're quite eager. The National Bank is very happy to set up a sandbox, solution. The Ministry of Economy is very eager to look at how tokenization can make Georgian lives better. And while that is true universally, I am unable to do that in the U.S. Right? I can't call up my congressman and be like, hey, I want to talk to you about, let's tokenize, sheep or whatever, corn in Illinois. I'd have to go through 18 committees. But while the U.S. government just makes a decision to do something, they do it in a big way, and they go big, and they have big money. Where in Georgia, they're eager and curious, and are able to listen to you if you promote an idea. And I think that gives Georgia a tremendous advantage. I mean, not like a small razor-thin advantage. I'm talking like Georgia has the potential to copy-paste ideas from Estonia, from the UK, from the US, and they do this, especially as they're harmonizing rules into the EU. So yeah, I think there's huge potential.
And you were saying earlier that you've had your own experience with like a public-private sort of. Absolutely.
The Cardano project that I have with the National Wine Agency has full authority from the Ministry of Agriculture a push from the Ministry of Economy, but funded from Cardano and from private. So Cardano Foundation is a nonprofit in Switzerland, but funded by them and by some private entities. No money coming from the Georgian government at all, but fully backed, by the government entities, and that's incredible. That's amazing. And we pulled that off. Okay, it took 3 years, but but that's possible, right? This kind of a project is possible in Georgia, where it would be almost impossible, if not extremely difficult, to do the same thing in the U.S. So.
All right. How do you guys think that we can better collaborate with one another within the region?
Well, blockchain and the basics of Web3 are to solve trustlessness, right? So it is fixing trustlessness problem within two parties, which are two people wanting to send bitcoins to each other. The same concept, the same approach could be used for the 2, 3, 4 bordering countries as well. Because, of course, in perfect world, countries should be awesome at interacting with each other, right? But in our reality, there are lots of problems. Right now, if Georgia wants to do business with Iran, it's going to be a problem, the same way as Armenia, because we can't have international SWIFT transactions with Iran. It's sanctioned. But if you are using Web3 solutions like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, that's pretty much solving the problem, right? The same thing could have been used in other places, not only sending, receiving the wealth, but also international documentations, signing of different things, the diploma systems. When you're going to other country, you're showing the diploma. It's nearly impossible to check if the other country's diploma was correct or not, right? The current university systems don't allow fully, deeply, transparently doing it. The diploma system would do. So basically, coming to a consensus is the best that can blockchain provide, and is the most needed thing within even the countries.
Excellent. And Sergi, how do you think that the people in this room, on this stage, anybody can contribute to this city project? This sounds amazing and big and beautiful and
in many, many ways. I mean, like, first of all, I want also to add a couple of words about this international cooperation and in terms of blockchain. I mean, like, as you know, maybe you know, copyright associations and copyright organizations. This is a very, I would say, very kind of like traditional, old style, old school type of organizations. And today, in terms of IP and intellectual properties, blockchain could be used like perfectly in exchanging, monetizing, monitoring. And I think what we are trying right now to do is, like, for instance, I was in Moldova recently, and these guys are also building small hubs for creative industries, and we start to talk about, joining the forces in terms of like joint kind of blockchain for intellectual property. So, for instance, it could be a couple of countries that create this ecosystem, first of all. As for the city, everybody is welcome because it's a very, very big project. And first of all, there will be a stage when we will need like physically money to start to build the whole thing, because it's not going to be only our money, of course. But we need the knowledge also. This is going to be a huge, big sandbox of hundreds, 1,000 square meters. So in the middle of the city, and any type of knowledge, any type of cooperation, any type of collaboration is welcome. And this is what we are trying to do since 2 years here. We have created, even we are now involved also in creating the Association for Creative Industries here. And by the creative industries, guys, IT is creative industry. This is not the separate part. So, because in many things, gaming industry, it's a creative industry. So that's why we are here.
Are there any like specific ways, like website, email list? Like, are there any ways to like get
of course,
in touch?
getari.com is our, and I'm on LinkedIn also. It's very easy to find me, believe me. So you are welcome to talk to me right now or anytime through the email or whatever. So this is like I think that the cooperation, collaboration is the future, and it's not something special that I'm saying right now. And of course, the countries like Armenia, you know, the whole Caucasus, Azerbaijan, Turkey. We share this territory, you know. We are on the crossroad from Asia to Europe, and we need to collaborate. The world is changing a lot, you know, and we will have completely different function in this new world, and we need to use this opportunity. So that's why I'm very, very optimistic about things, although the world is not so nice at the moment, but I'm very, very optimistic because I hope that this is a sign that we need to change the world. And yeah, these guys, this technology is the future, and this is helping to change the world. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that I have a suggestion for Mika and DegameFi to, you know, expand and hold some conferences in Azerbaijan and Armenia, and then Georgians go there and we try to collaborate on different projects, and that will be very interesting to, you know, maybe next time they try that, and I think that can be a good start to collaborations. Yeah, I think that there are some collaborations going on. There should be some collaborations going on, because although, you know, Armenia, Azerbaijan are very strict with regards to the crypto, on the other hand, we have the Web3 that is, you know, mostly beyond the regulations currently, and you know, there's nothing in between. Like there is not a wall. You know, you have to jump over to do something in the Web3. So you can always start doing great projects on Web3 even without some regulations. So. That's also a very good point that we have to, you know, state that although we are talking about regulations, Web3 in the end doesn't need a regulation at all, and you can do the things and projects in Web3 and do transactions in Web3 and own anything in the Web3 without being regulated. No, I like this, and I think that. In the future, also more people will start, you know, staying in the crypto and Web3, and not to come out to the real fiat world or banking world and traditional world. You know, where things work very different from that. Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Are we time? Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.